Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking a friendly showdown between two absolute heavyweights of the modern tech world, data science and artificial intelligence. Now you hear these buzzwords thrown around interchangeably all the time, right? But honestly, they aren't the same thing. Sure, data science definitely uses AI in its day-to-day operations, but they serve totally different purposes, use different methodologies, and ultimately lead to completely different career paths. So let's set the stage here by looking at the stakes. We are literally living right in the middle of the fourth industrial revolution. The transformations we're seeing across global industries today, they're historic. And this whole massive shift is being driven squarely by some truly unprecedented leaps in data processing and machine capabilities. To make sense of it all, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the data revolution, move into decoding data science, and then define artificial intelligence. After that, we'll do a head-to-head comparison and wrap up by figuring out which path might actually be yours. All right, part one, the data revolution and a massive explosion in data. Over the last decade or so, we have seen this insane explosion in data. It's basically created a fundamentally new data-driven society. And because of the sheer volume, industries now absolutely rely on specialized toolkits to process it all and make calculated decisions. You can't just guess what your customers want anymore, right? You have to tailor products that actually map to consumer behavior. But here's the catch. Raw data on its own is incredibly messy. Businesses require highly specialized approaches to process it, which perfectly sets the stage for our first contender. Moving to part two, decoding data science and mastering the data pipeline. You can really think of data science as the foundational layer for modern business intelligence. It's the established powerhouse that steps in to make sense of all that overwhelming noise. By definition, data science is an interdisciplinary field, meaning it combines statistics, mathematics, and programming. So yeah, the learning curve is famously steep. You definitely can't just wing it. It's a highly demanding role, but the insights it generates are absolutely vital to any organization's survival today. In practice, a data scientist pipeline looks exactly like this. First, you extract the raw, messy data. Then you manipulate it into something usable, visualize the hidden trends, maintain the system's integrity, and finally, forecast future events. Turning all that raw information into a really accurate forecast allows a company to assess how it's doing right now and immediately suggest necessary operational changes. It's pretty powerful stuff. Okay, part three, defining artificial intelligence and the quest for autonomy. Unlike the broad business analytics of data science, AI has a very, very specific goal: autonomy. It leans heavily on software engineering principles to create systems that can execute actions entirely on their own, essentially mimicking biological intelligence. Because they can operate entirely independently based on what's been successful in the past, these systems are fundamentally changing how our products actually function. And the field has evolved so fast. Traditional AI used to require explicitly hard-coded goals. Think of a classic pathfinding algorithm in an old video game. But contemporary AI, it leverages deep learning. Instead of being told exactly what to look for, these networks actually understand the patterns and discover the goals embedded directly within the data themselves. It's a massive shift. To really anchor how incredibly powerful these artificial neural networks have become, just think back to when Google's AlphaGo system defeated Key, the world champion Go player. Tech giants are leveraging AI to build systems modeled directly after human neurons that learn and adapt over time. AlphaGo wasn't just following a set of pre-programmed rules. It was dynamically executing autonomous decisions at a completely superhuman level. Which brings us to part four, the head-to-head comparison, the data science versus AI showdown. Let's talk scope. Data science is kind of like the broader operations manager. It handles all the varied underlying processes required to make data usable in the first place. Artificial intelligence, on the other hand, is much narrower. It's limited specifically to implementing machine learning algorithms to achieve that autonomy we talked about. In fact, you can really look at machine learning algorithms as the stepping stones that get us from data science into artificial intelligence. Next, let's look at their diets, or the types of data they actually consume. Data science has an absolute iron stomach. It can digest messy, highly varied information ranging from your neatly structured databases to completely unstructured text and images. AI, however, is a pretty picky eater. It requires highly standardized mathematical inputs to function properly. You specifically have to format data into forms like vectors and embeddings before the algorithms can even begin to process it. If we look at the day-to-day tools in this matrix, data science relies heavily on statistical and programming software like SPSS, SAS, Python, and R, and it totally dominates areas like search engines, digital marketing, and banking analysis. Meanwhile, AI runs on really powerful machine learning frameworks, things like TensorFlow, PyTorch, and Scikit-learn, and it's out there physically and digitally navigating healthcare, transport, robotics, and manufacturing automation.
And finally, part 5, which path is yours? The final verdict.
If you're the type of person who wants to build entirely new autonomous systems and push the boundaries of unexplored tech frontiers, AI is for sure your calling. You'll focus on bringing genuine autonomy to products, making machines do things automatically that were quite literally impossible just a few years ago. If that sounds like you, you should be targeting career paths like NLP scientist, machine learning engineer, or deep learning scientist. However, if your passion lies in being the central nervous system of an organization, data science is definitely your arena. It's an established market powerhouse that has already made a massive difference. By leveraging algorithms in Python and R, you'll be directly assessing performance and driving vital, immediate business strategies. Make no mistake, every single major decision today relies on the data processed by data scientists. So, there you have it. You now understand the massive data explosion driving our modern world and the precise differences between the broad analytical power of data science and the highly specialized autonomy of AI. Whether you choose to master the data itself to guide human decisions or focus entirely on building the autonomous, intelligent systems of tomorrow, the choice is ultimately yours. So, which data-driven future will you build?